Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. All praises due to Allah. All praises due to Allah.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we give Him praise and thanks for His mercy and His goodness. Above all, we thank Him for His coming in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. And we thank Him so very much for His wise choice of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad as His messenger, the Messiah, the exalted Christ. I greet all of you with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. I thank you, Minister Ishmael and staff. The words that he spoke just before I entered the mosque was that Allah had laid something on my heart for you. Reading letters that come to me from believers from throughout the nation, many letters tell us of problems that believers are having. And the saddest and most painful letters to read are those letters that speak of domestic problems that ill affect marital relationships and cause the thought and the action of divorce. I thought that I should not wait to deliver this message because I wanted us to think on what I, by the grace of Allah, will say, so that the whole weekend of atonement and reconciliation will have more meaning to the believing community. I am thankful to Allah for all of the believers and for those who are in the various mosques and study groups throughout the nation. Thank you so much for your attendance, for your attention, and for your help. I thank Brother Minister Ismail Muhammad and my son, Captain Mustafa, and the National Secretary Kamal Muhammad, the lieutenants, the Sister Captain Aisha, the Sister Chief of Protocol, Sister Claudette Marie Muhammad, and all of the laborers who are attempting to labor. My subject tonight is, how do you mend or heal a broken heart? How do you mend or heal a broken heart? The root of a nation and the success of a nation is built on family life. And the success of family life is built on the institution of marriage. And the success of marriage is determined by our relationship to God. When, according to the Bible and Quran, Allah created Adam, He did not mean for Adam to be alone. So He created for the man the woman, not as a plaything, but as a serious creation that would help the man to do what God put on the man when He created him. You don't create a man to stand in the place of God and give him a dummy for a helpmeet. So if the man is ordered by God to be his vicegerent or to stand in his place over the affairs of the earth, and He gives him a woman to help him, she is capable, has the acumen, the intelligence, and the potential to help that man do God's work. Now, marriage then is that which gives to the male the comfort, the protection of a female, and gives to the female the same in the male, so that they become a team working to fulfill the will of God. So the Bible instructs that when the man chooses a woman, he cleaves to that woman, and she cleaves to that man, forsaking all others, so that no mother, no father, nobody should come between the sacred union of the male and the female in the sacred institution of marriage. Marriage is not for sex. Marriage is to form a team to do the will and the work of God. And in so doing, the male can partake of what God has put in the female to console and comfort him and help him and strengthen him in his effort to do the will of God. But to have pleasure to do nothing is already an affront to God. And to give pleasure when it is not due or justified. Now, the thing that has brought me out to you tonight is the constant cry in the nation, particularly among the females, but not limited to the females, of adultery going on in various households that is breaking the heart of the female and breaking the home. Now, home is sacred to God. And this is why in the Old Testament, adultery is punished by death. Because something happens through adultery that is worthy of death, because adultery kills the union. Say He, Allah, is one. He is not divided into parts. So if God is one, when the two, male and female, come together to decide to become as one, that is a sacred pledge. So the stronger the bond of marriage, the stronger the union of marriage, the stronger the family. How do you mend? How do you heal a broken heart? Some of the sisters that write me declare their faithfulness. And they were so hurt by what their male counterpart did that it began to destroy. They don't say this, but it's in the letters. You can read between the lines. It begins to destroy faith. So that once the sister becomes disappointed in the male, angry with the male, hurt by the male, and you teach that God is a male or man, then her faith in God gets shaken by our stupidity. But sisters, when the male ill affects you by what he has done, and then you take your garment off, begin wearing tight clothes again, going to places that you gave up going to before, looking for something that would heal the broken heart. But you never get a healing, you get a pacifier. And all of you that are mothers that have babies, a pacifier can only suffice for a while, because there's nothing substantive to a pacifier. And most of the relationships that you get into are nothing more than pacifiers. There's no substance in them. On the other side of that, when the male finds another man in his bed, this is a pretty hard thing for a man to endure. Once you know that your wife has been unfaithful to you, there's no longer a desire to be there. But it's the same on her side. If she puts her complete trust and confidence in us, and then we do that, that breaks the trust, breaks the confidence, then we are sending her away from us. And that's why one of the grounds for divorce is adultery. Major ground. Okay? Now, there's a lot of believers right now thinking about divorce, not reconciliation, not mending, healing what has happened in that house, thinking sometimes only of our pain, but not what is happening to the children who are watching the drama. So there's a lot of consequences that accrue when we are unfaithful to our word. Have not you learned or heard that your word shall be bond, regardless of whom or what? What is there to a man or a woman if we have no word? If what we say in the presence of our family and to God has no meaning at all, and if the prophet says that marriage is one half of faith, and in 6 months we're out of it, a year we're out of it, then you won't be around long in the nation. Why did you say that, Farrakhan? There's a scripture in the Bible that says, many are called, but just a few are chosen. Every week that my brother, Minister Ishmael, speaks, or I speak, you see the people lined up all the way to the back and around. They are so happy for the word that they heard. They want to join. And then the next week, where are they? What happened between the time that you shook their hands and invited them to Islam and the next meeting night? Many are called, but only a few are chosen. But chosen for what purpose? Why would God come to North America by himself to choose a messenger? Do you think he was just choosing a man to give him nothing to do? And everything that he created has an aim and a purpose? So he chose the messenger for a purpose. And that purpose was the resurrection of us as a people, to deliver a message that would resurrect us. And if the messenger doesn't deliver the message, then he's not the messenger and he stands to be chastised. Who will go for us? That's the question that is asked. Who will go? And one voice said, here am I, send me. Each one of you know instinctively that you owe a duty to your Creator. So when you get in trouble and nobody can help you, you make your prayer sincere. And then you say to the Creator, oh God, or oh Allah, or oh Jesus, by whatever name you called him, because you've had this conversation before. If you get me out of this, I'll serve you for the rest of my days. That's the lie that we told to God. But the Quran says, and when he delivers you, lo, we set up other gods beside him. So all of us at one time or another have lied to God. So if you will lie to God, what does your mate have as a chance that you are not lying to her or to him? If your word that you gave to Allah means nothing, then the word that we give to one another is even less than nothing. Have not you heard that your word shall be bond regardless of whom or what? Well, we don't give our word and not be tried. Just say what you want to do in life. I don't care what it is. I think today I want to do such and such. Before you step off to do something, the phone may ring. Somebody call you to do something else and take your mind right off the course. And the thing that you said you were going to do, I have to do it again tomorrow. That's how easy some of us get pulled away from a word. Now, no one who gets married should think that the vows that we take will not be tried. Not that the vow is being tried. We who made the vow are being tried. So Allah says in the Quran, and do men and women think that they will be left alone on saying we believe and will not be tried? I mean, look at our prayers. Oh Allah, my prayer, my sacrifice, my life and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Well, don't you think at some point He's going to call us on that? So when you go to the altar, and I don't like saying marriages anymore. I don't mean to offend you. When you ask me, would you, minister, say my marriage? And I refuse. I say funerals, not marriages. Because the dead is not lying. They dead. But to stand up over people that are lying and don't mean what they say, that's disturbing to me. So I'd rather not be bothered with that. Call anybody you want to marry you. Justice of the peace, any other liar, you know. Because most of you are lying anyway. Only a few hold on to their marriages through thick and thin. You don't mind it when it's thick, but you're ready to run when it gets thin. I like the Christian words for richer, for poorer. Well, hell, we've been poor all our life, so we ain't talking about richer for us. Poorer and poorer than poor. Everybody, black for the most part, start off poor. So don't think that money is a prerequisite for marriage. Love is a prerequisite for marriage, and love will get you the money. You love the woman, you're going to find some money. You ain't going to rob anybody, steal from anybody, cheat anybody. Because marriage and a woman demands money to maintain marriage and home and family. That's real. today's world, oftentimes, the female has to work right along with the man. But if you really form a strong partnership, not the woman hiding money from the man that she's making, and the man hiding money from the woman to give to the other woman. You didn't hear me. See, some of you look like you don't like this subject. But I ain't got deep into it yet. Wait, just wait. I've been reading these letters. And it's hurtful. Because if the families in the nation break apart because marriage is breaking apart, then what is happening to our nation? To preserve and protect the nation, you have to preserve and protect family and preserve and protect the holy institution of marriage. Now, look, some of you, all of us as men and women are attracted to beautiful faces, right? You see a pretty woman, she see a handsome man, that's attraction. But pretty don't mean pretty. And handsome don't really mean handsome. That may draw you to the table, but what's going to keep you at the table is something beautiful on the inside. Now, those of us who like pretty faces, well, what happens when the pretty face that attracted you to the altar gets common? You see it every day, especially waking up. It may not be so pretty, with stuff all in your eyes and your mouth all nasty and whatnot, breathing all that halitosis on people. And there ain't no makeup nor a wig. Damn, you might get disillusioned in the morning. And she right there with you, though. She looking at your ugly self, too. Smelling that bad breath, too. And she might say, damn, what did I see in him? I think I made a mistake. So cuteness and beauty is relative. So if it's beauty that attracted you to your wife, then there's somebody down the street that is beautiful too, round the corner, next door, upstairs, downstairs. There's a man right around the corner, more handsome than your husband, that you have never seen wake up in the morning with a funky breath. So the grass always looks greener on the other side of the fence until you get over there. And so many of us have been like a child in a candy store. Taste a little piece of the candy. Oh, this is nice. Let me try this one. Ooh, ooh. And every time we look around, you got a different woman on your arm. And all your disillusioned wives are in the mob.
looking at each other with daggers in their eyes. Did I say something? My subject is, how do you heal a broken heart? Now, what is it about the heart that when the heart is broken, it leads to distress and grief and anxiety and troubles and depression and make you sick? My heart is broken. Well, now, your heart is in your chest. How did it get broke? But it's not talking about this heart. It's talking about the core of that which is the center of your emotions. That out of which thoughts arise is called the heart. So when the heart is diseased, only God can heal a diseased heart. So when the action of one of the partners in the marriage ill affects the heart of another, and the pain of one's action causes an effect in the lives of both, sometimes it teaches the person who is the victimizer or the guilty party the lesson of why adultery is punishable, in some cases by death. Because adultery on the part of the female or the male kills the home, the family, the trust, and the love of the spouse. But sometimes the male or the female who has been found guilty of adultery recognize what they did by looking at the pain that is causing in somebody that they claim they love. The mother of the children or the father of the children. And that party so affected by what has happened may have a mind and a heart to do whatever is necessary to help in the healing process of someone whose heart is broken because of what they did. The husband may approach his wife. She rejects his approach and doesn't even give a damn about the lesson that he may have learned. You know, we have lessons as Muslims. And a lesson is something that when you learn it, you never forget it. The lesson becomes so deeply ingrained in your consciousness that whatever circumstance came up that brought about the learning of that lesson, you see it even before it gets to your door the next time, and you avoid it. Did you know that sometimes when a bone gets broken, it gets stronger when it is healed? There's some homes that are breaking, but if there's no desire to reconcile, no desire to heal the broken heart and put balm on the wound, then
we go our separate way without ever counting the cost of what happens to our children as the drama plays out. The children now are forced to choose sides. The mother always, of course, believes she's right. She has the ear of the children, so she's busy telling them what happened and why I'm getting rid of him. And then the father, he said, well, I can't let this happen. He gets a chance. You see, your mother did A, B, and C. Now, there are things that we both do that the children shouldn't know about. You don't discuss certain things with the children to poison the children, because you're not poisoning the children against one, you're really poisoning the children against both. That's why prayer is so vital. My sister that preaches, I can't think of her name. If Sister Claudette were here, she would tell me her name, that sang the song, I Had a Little Talk with God. Midikaya. See, how many of you think enough of God to talk to God, rather than talking to people to get people on your side? See, the wife has friends, supporters. Ditch that nigga. Get that back. Get rid of him. I knew that nigga wasn't nothing. I could have told you that before. See, these are the unhappy people that can't make a marriage work and want to see yours fail because theirs is a failure. Then on the other side, the male has his friends. She did that? You mean she ain't cooking? The house ain't clean? The dishes ain't washed? Damn, brother, how could you stand that? Like he living in paradise. How do you mend a broken heart? The husband approaching his wife, he might be sincere because he really sees the devastation that he has caused, or the wife approaches the husband seeing the devastation that she has caused. Now, both of them are at a standoff. To hell with it. Hell with it. She feels you did this to me, to us, and she's not only in a state that she does not wish to be bothered with you, she don't want the sight of you. But then if you watch her closely, you find her turning away from faith. She don't want to put on a headpiece no more. She wants to be seen at the, what's the name of that club downtown? That's right, just call them all out since you all hang out there.
Before you know it, she's in a bar room. Damn, I think I need a drink. She ain't said I need God yet. She haven't got down on her knees and gone in the closet and talked to her Creator, who created the heart and is the only one capable of healing a broken heart. He's the last one we talk to. But I'm going to talk to my mother. I'm going to talk to my father. I'm going to talk to my sister, my brother, my neighbor next door. I just want everybody to know this nigga ain't nothing. All of a sudden you woke up to know that your choice was bad. But was it really? Or did something happen that caused the disease to set in to drive us apart? So I'm watching some of the sisters who are in this state of mind, and the brothers too. They're looking for a pacifier. He's out looking for the miniskirt sister. And the hell with this, you know what I mean? I'm going out to the House of Blues because I got the blues. And I'm going to find me a man to pacify me. Now, I looked up the word, not adultery, because y'all know what adultery is. It's a married man or woman having a sexual relationship with somebody that they're not married to. Okay? But the word to study is the word adulterate. Because to adulterate something means to corrupt it, to debase it, to defile it, or make it impure by adding a poor or improper substance into something that was pure, to make it then inferior. So when you go outside of a marriage to find another woman or another man, you are adding an improper substance into a relationship, thereby corrupting the marriage, corrupting and debasing and defiling the marriage, or making the marriage impure, thereby creating a breach. These choices that we make to adulterate or make impure or to corrupt our houses have consequences. And these consequences ill affect us spiritually first, mentally, morally, physically, emotionally, and ultimately financially. We are always stronger when we are at one. Now, rejecting the approach of a wife or a husband who has learned a lesson from infidelity and wants to make it right, refusing even when an offer is made to ask for forgiveness, how is Allah looking at us If we have no will to forgive one another, yet stand in need of his forgiveness, and would not want God to walk away from us and say, "You dirty, unclean Negro, I'm not going to forgive you." Well, if the God is so merciful that he can cast sin into the sea of forgetfulness, then why, as a Christian, have we said, "I forgive those who trespass against me," after I've asked God to forgive my trespasses? That's the Lord's Prayer. Have you forgotten it? Okay. As a pacifier cannot satisfy the natural hunger in a baby, when your heart is broken and you go out looking for something new or an old romance, this will never heal or mend a broken heart. It is nothing more than pacification, because the real healing starts with a person's connection to God. Some of us men who mess up, and our wives have been so faithful, they've been so good, sometimes in the quiet of the night they think about committing suicide, because we have messed up our lives and we are pained over the terrible act that has been done that messed up your life and someone's life that you really love. So the question will come up, well, why did you do it? Those are questions that are easily asked but not easily answered. Why does a man go out to commit adultery? I start with the man first, because a woman is not by nature an adulteress. What do you mean by that, Farrakhan? I can only tell you what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught me. He said that when a woman's heart is filled with the man that she loves, no other man can enter. I don't give a damn if he's the most handsome man or has a lot of money or whatever he may have, position and power. He can never enter her heart if her heart is filled with you and me. The question then becomes, how do you keep a woman's heart filled with you? And evidently we messed up, because we leave a hole in the heart, and what love was in it start running out. So when her heart is no longer filled with you, then her eyes start looking. Yeah. So, brothers, we need help to fill a woman's heart. You can't fill a woman's heart in our condition. We are just too far away from the nature in which we are created to fill the woman's heart with us. I mean, when she first falls in love with us, her heart is filled. But, you know, there's a glass of water under here. You know what I mean? but just crack it a little, you know what I mean? And you look around, the water's going. So it is with love. It just starts running out of the heart. It might be a little left at the bottom. But look at all the room for another man to come in. Say, well, hell, well, you no good woman. Well, hell, somebody opened the door. But if you're a good woman, which very few are, I'm going to qualify everything I say tonight. If you're a good woman, which very few are, you will hold on to yourself and the word that you made, regardless of what he does. You are not going to let him be your downfall, and vice versa. Who are we to worship a woman? You sound so stupid. I love you, baby. I can't live without you, baby. That's a damn fool. She ain't God. What you mean you can't live without her? She wasn't in the womb when you were being formed. Neither was he. You can live without a man, and he can live without a woman, but you can't live without a relationship with God. Everybody all right? Yeah. How do you heal a broken heart? Now, nothing that a male or female does should be an instrument to remove us from God. That's our post. Our faith is our post. And we must guard and protect our faith, because that's the only thing that you have that will secure for you a future. Not secure you a man, but secure you a future. You say, yeah, but I'm in a lot of pain. Well, that ain't nothing new. Did you think that you were going to have life without pain? But what kind of world did you think you were born in? The Quran says that Allah created the human being to struggle, to face difficulties, because it's the struggle of life, to overcome the natural pain in life that brings out the best or the worst in us. Anybody can be faithful with everything going right. That ain't no test. My husband comes home every night right after work. He's right there on the dot, honey. But I got his meal ready. He's so sweet. Or she's so nice. But then let some trouble come in the house. See, now that's the test. How you gonna handle it? It's too much pain. I'm getting out of it. Well, hell, get out of life then. See, because if you don't want pain, die. Because only the dead don't feel it. If you're alive, you're gonna feel pain in this world. We put people away, and when we put them away in death, they say their struggle is over. They don't feel no more pain. They ain't sick no more. Whatever heart they had that was broken, they ain't got to worry about it. So if you don't want pain and struggle, then maybe you shouldn't be here. Because God has ordained it to bring out of you what He put in you of good and evil. It's in you. It's the struggle of life, the ups and the downs that make you see yourself. See? You may be looking at your husband, but look back now at yourself. Because it's how you handle things that show you who you are. So you could be home saying that no good nigga, so and so and so and so, and I'll never forgive him. Well, that's you. And what kind of heart have you got now? Well, I can blame him because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have this hard heart. See, but the scripture says it's not what goes in that defiles the person. It's what comes out. So none of us can escape pain and hurt and disappointment in life. But that's what breaks the heart. It's the pain of disappointment. It's the hurt of an ego. You know, a man thinking, this is my woman. She told me I was hers. You know what I mean? That's big stuff. I'm yours, baby. And yeah, I'm yours, and hers, and hers, and his, and his. That gets to be quite painful. And when the trust is broken and the heart is broken, where do you go to achieve a healing? Now, you know, when the messenger was among us, he was in reality the apple of my eye. I love that man so much that I did my best to live and obey every word that I heard him say. I never could conceive of myself being in a world without him. I always saw myself dying, but the messenger is still here teaching and raising us. And many of the followers, we found that on the morning of February 25th at 8:10 Central Standard Time, when they announced over the radio that Elijah Muhammad was dead, the whole nation was in a shock. We came in on the 25th and had Savior's Day the 26th and a funeral on the 28th, the last day of February, and a casket was sitting right here, right there, mosque full. The casket never was open, and the mosque was unbelievably quiet. Nobody was crying, nobody was, it just was a strange thing that day. And for a man that was loved as much as he was loved, and as much as I thought I loved him, I never shed a tear until maybe a few weeks afterward in my office in New York, I broke down. My heart was broken. My teacher was gone. There was a feeling of disappointment. There was a feeling of pain, great pain. Nothing made sense anymore. You know, people can be in your family and don't know you. The children of a great leader can drop a seed unknowingly to interfere with the faith of a follower. Because each child has a view of the father or the mother who is the messenger. But did they see him right? Did the wife see him right? Now, I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. Very innocent, and I'm not condemning anybody. I'm making a point. There was a daughter of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that I would visit in this city when I would come in for Savior's Day. And at a certain time, I was getting very popular. And as I visited the home this particular day, she said to me, "You know, Minister, you're getting very, very popular. And Daddy don't like it when somebody, outshines him." I didn't say nothing. But what kind of view was that? That's her view. Now, see how a family member can see you doing something and don't know why you do what you do and misjudge you. I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. Y'all all right? Yes. Remember the subject. How do you mend or heal a broken heart? I was sitting at the messenger's table. First, in the afternoon, he says to me, I came to the house. He said, "Brother, did you take Tynetta's play, The Night of the Storm, and make that the base of the play that you wrote?" I said, oh no, sir, dear apostle. He said, "You didn't?" I said, "Well, don't worry, I'll clear it up at the dinner table." When I get to the dinner table that night, all the laborers are at the dinner table. Mother Tynetta's there. Waterford Dean was there. John Ali and others, Sharif. And I'm sitting right to his right. Mother Clara is sitting right across from me. And he starts in on me. He wait till I get the soup down. And then he started. "Brother, I understand that you took a sister's play and made your own play and is running around taking the credit for something that you stole from that sister." I said, "No, sir, dear apostle, I didn't do that." "But did you see her play The Night of the Storm?" "No, sir, dear apostle, I never knew that she wrote a play." But Brother Malcolm saw it, didn't he?" "I don't know." "Well, he saw it. Didn't Malcolm come and tell you about her play?" I said, "No, sir, he never said anything to me." And he kept this going. I mean, he wouldn't stop. I kept answering him, "No, sir, no, sir." And he, and Mother Clara was sitting right across from me. She said, well, you heard him say he didn't do it. And he looked at her and said, you be quiet, Clara, I'm handling this. She didn't say no more. And he went right on grilling me. And finally, I couldn't take it anymore. Keep saying no, he's saying yes. I'm saying no, sir. He's saying yes, you did take it, didn't you? So I don't want to be arguing with him. So I said, well, whatever you say I did there, Apostle, that's exactly what I did. And he took his handkerchief and, well, all right then. The whole table quiet now. Farrakhan on trial. And then he said, brother, I couldn't eat the food, by the way. After I got the soup down, the rest of the meal, I just couldn't eat. He said, brother, I was defending you all the time. And in my mind, I said, some defense, you know. He said, brother, when did you come in the nation? I said, 1955. When did you write your play? 1956. Said, well, she didn't come in till 1958. I was trying to get you to say she told hers from you because you was here first and wrote yours first. Now wait. And then I retorted, listen to my answer. I said, but dear Apostle, I could never accuse her of stealing something from me when both our plays were based on John Hawkins' history, and we didn't know nothing about that till we met you. And he looked around the whole table as if to say, see, here's a man that wouldn't accuse because he know where it all comes from. See? And then when we got up from the table to go out, he greeted me and he said, you and my son Wallace go and mop up the wilderness. Okay? Now, when Mother Clara and the family see the messenger putting his top ministers on trial, you think you may see him blazing Farrakhan or blazing Malcolm or blazing this one, and you don't know why he's doing it. But he told me some months or years later, he said, brother, if you really want to know what's in somebody, just accuse them of something that you know they didn't do, but hold your point. And after a while, what's in them is going to come out. Well, he was telling me then why he did that. He was trying to see what kind of nerve I had to rise up against him. So the family is watching that, but how did they judge it? My daddy don't like nobody outshining him. I don't care how bright I shine. I could never outshine the light. I knew that I wasn't the light. I got the light from him. How then could he be jealous of me outshining him when if he shut me off from getting light, I'd be back in the dark again? So that's a kind of seed. It lays there in the brain. It doesn't get activated, but it's there. Mother Clara. Now, any of you that know Mother Clara, Mother Clara, to me, one of the most beautiful women in this world, was the wife of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mother Clara. To me, I loved her, and every time I saw her, my eyes would fill up with water. There wasn't one time that I was in her presence that tears didn't come up in my eyes. And one day, she came to me in the living room at 48, 47, and she said, "Brother, minister, I notice that every time you see me, your eyes settle full of water." So I told my husband, and I asked him, "Why do you think his eyes settle full of water every time he sees me?" And my husband told me, "Well, why don't you ask him?" So I'm asking you, brother. And I said, "Every time I look at you, I think of the sacrifice that you make, that I could have a father and a teacher. And that's why my eyes fill with water." She said, "Thank you, brother." And she turned and walked away. When she was dying, the palace was being built. She was staying in Miami with Sister Lana Shabazz. And I was teaching in the college in Atlanta, and I went by her home where she was staying and brought her a big bouquet of flowers, in which was the bird of paradise flower, which is a favorite of mine, and I thought that she would like it. And so she came out, and she seemed a little down in spirit. And she said some words to me that at this point I won't repeat about myself, which is good, but what she said, I don't think it's necessary to say that in this place at this time. But then she asked me how the new home that he was building was going, and with joy I was telling her what I saw, because I had just left Chicago. And she said, "Well, brother, I don't think I'll live to see that house built." Brother Akbar was with me, and he's a witness of what was said in that room. When we walked out of that house, within a few months, she was in Mercy Hospital, dying. And she sent for me. And I went by her bedside. Nobody in the room, just me and Mother Clara Muhammad. And these are her words to me. She said, "Brother, my husband is getting old now, and he can't do the things that he used to do. Help my husband, brother. You help him." I said, "Yes, ma'am, I will help him." Said, "Now, he's not going to let you help him, but it ain't nothing but jealousy, but you help him anyway." Now, she's dying, but she's calling me to help her husband. So no matter what had transpired, because of the personal and domestic life of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and she's in pain, but she never allowed that pain to rob her of the love of her husband and the desire to see his mission successful. So she appealed to me 3 times, "Help my husband." tears running down her eyes. And I took a tissue from the side of the table at the bed, and I wiped her eyes. And I promised her that I would help her husband, and my word is my bond. Now, what I'm getting at is the word jealousy. See? I can't see through her eyes. I can only see through mine. But shortly after that, I'm in tremendous pain because I'm working to help him, and the laborers in Chicago are whispering around the nation saying that a hypocrite is going to rise that will make the hypocrisy of Malcolm look like child's play. He would be a master of the English language. But the messenger did say those words. But they were interpreting it as Farrakhan. So all over the nation, they were poisoning the people because of their hearing the messenger's words, believing he was talking about me. But what motivated them to try to destroy my character was it envy over his love of me and his choice of me. Now wait a minute. But when he was gone, and that's what a broken heart comes from, when you lose somebody that you loved and sacrificed so much for, or you think you lost them, and then there's a separation, a void that comes up. See, when the messenger was gone, there was a separation now. I didn't have the man that I could call on the phone, Drexel 30234. I still remember that number. So he could give me guidance. He was no longer here. My protector was gone. My defender was gone. My benefactor was gone. And I withered under that loss of my best friend. So my faith began to weaken under the new teacher and the new teaching. My love for him was strong, but my faith in him as the messenger of God was broken. My faith in Master Farad Muhammad as Allah in person was broken. And that's what happens when you worship that which is not Allah. You look to a man to give you what God alone can give you. And when the man disappoints you, your heart is broken and your faith is broken. But if you were a true believer in Allah, you would know where to go to heal a broken heart. We are not perfect. We're far from it. So we're bound to ill affect people that look to us. There's no king that had 100% followers in this world. No president, no ruler, no prophet. If prophets had betrayers, then we're bound to test each other's love by our own foolishness. So when the light of my life was gone, I literally fell down. I went backwards. Not all the way, but far enough to know that my faith was broken. See, once you disbelieve in the messenger, then the message becomes suspect. Then you start throwing away parts of the message. Oh, I'll take some shrimp. I'll take scallops. I'll eat peanuts. I'll drink wine. I'll take whiskey, rum. I'll even get drunk. I'll smoke a reefer. Oh, yeah. I'll get high. I'll fornicate. I'll commit adultery. I don't give a damn no more. See, when your heart gets broken, you sort of don't care anymore. Like there's nothing to live for. Who said so? Well, I got so bitter, and I learned to cuss all over again. And I'm talking about I cussed so bad one day in the car with Brother Akbar, and his wife was in the car. And you know you disrespectful when you can cuss in the presence of a woman and don't feel nothing. But when I got out of the car, I was ashamed because I could taste the bitterness of bile in my mouth. And then I said to myself, why are you like this? Why are you bitter? My phone didn't ring no more. Nobody was calling me to ask me this or ask me that. I hadn't lost any wisdom. I just lost a position. That's when you find out who your friends are. There's a song, nobody wants you when you're down and out. All right? See, just lose what people are attracted to you for. And you find you lose people. The messenger of Allah at a table said, you're with me now because I have something to give you, but will you be with me when I have nothing to give you? I had to answer that question because my faith now was broken. And I told my wife, Khadijah, I said, well, honey, everywhere I travel in the world, I don't see nothing but sick black folk, and the hell with it. You know what I mean? I'm just going to try to do something to help myself and my family, and I'm withdrawing from my commitment that I didn't make to me. I made it to Master Farad Muhammad and the messenger. So now his absence and everything being turned upside down now is testing me. I can blame the imam if I'm a weak man. I can blame somebody else. But they didn't make me turn. It was circumstances that weakened me. So, as I moved out into the world, unsure of the next step, when once I knew my foot was firm, but it wasn't firm anymore, then everywhere I went in the world and taught what he taught me, I saw the effect on them of his teaching. So I'm gradually being restored to faith. I went to Mecca, and there, Brother Akbar, big, he was big brother then, and we kissing the black stone, and he moves the pilgrims out the way. so that I could kiss the stone, you know. But I kissed the stone, and as I was making my pilgrimage, I was talking to the messenger. I said, ain't nothing here, the apostle, that would make me go this way. See? And I sat down in the mosque in Mecca, and Akbar was sitting beside me. I said, look in their eyes. I said, they dead. I said, you know why they dead, Akbar? Because they worshiping a stone. They not worshiping Allah. Listen, listen, listen. And I told him, then, one day I'm coming back with 10,000. And then I saw it in the hadith of the Prophet that a Negro would come with 10,000 and destroy the Kaaba. I don't know who that Negro is. I just have to wait and see. But because the Kaaba is a sign. And when that which fulfills the sign is on the scene, you don't need the sign no more. Little by little, I had to recover from my pain. The separation from my teacher, your separation from your husband or your wife is painful, but you can recover. You see? Here I am in an automobile driving from Chicago to LA by myself. By myself. I had never been that way before. But I took the song, Route 66, and I followed it. Now you go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty. You see Amarillo, and Gallup, New Mexico. Jack, I was on that highway, following the song. And the night I stopped in Gallup, New Mexico, I called home, and Khadijah told me that the brother, the man that had played Idi Amin in the movie. Who? No. Godfrey Cambridge had died in LA, and they wanted me to say his funeral, okay? So I'm on my way. I'm in the desert. Johnny Mathis is on singing a song called I'm Going Home. And there's a part in there where I tried to play their game, you know, but it just wasn't for me. So tell somebody to come out and meet me, because I'm coming home. And then I'm just crying and crying. And if I hear that song today, you might see the tears fall out of my eyes, because the pain of what I suffered, I have not healed yet. I got out of my car in the middle of the desert, praying, crying, and screaming to the top of my voice. Allah, what is going on? What's going on? What's happening to me, to us, to the nation? I never thought at that point of suicide, but to attempt to rebuild the nation in the midst of the negative attitude toward the nation is like saying you want to die, because there were so many out there desirous of killing me anyway. But how do you heal a broken heart? See? To heal means to make sound, to make it well or healthy again. To cure or get rid of disease, restore to a healthy condition, to reconcile, to free from grief and trouble. That's what you're suffering in these relationships that have broken the bond of trust. And you've gotten an improper partner now to come into your life, or improper male partner, improper female partner. And when you lay down in bed with a strange woman, see, you know that's not the real one. You ain't married. What is this then? Well, that's the pacifier, but it never heals the broken heart. So, after I came back from Mecca and I met with Brother Jabril, I decided I was going to, well, I had already decided to rebuild the Nation of Islam according to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And of course, when I met with Brother Jabril, there were certain things that he had written in a manuscript that really pulled the scales off my eyes and allowed me to see that I was on a right course. And then my heart began to heal, because I got involved in the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, I want to close this. The seeds that I heard from a daughter and a wife had an effect on me, because when they were saying I was a hypocrite, and they said that the words that they were using came from the messenger, then those seeds that I heard but didn't seem like they meant anything to me then, but they started taking root, and those seeds led to my hypocrisy. See? And you can hear things. And one thing about leadership now, see, none of the leadership in the nation is perfect. Some of us are not even very good. Some. But others are trying, but not perfect. So, if you really want to bust up the house, you start throwing stones at the imperfections that you see in the leadership. Sometimes it's based on truth. Sometimes it's just a rumor and slander and gossip. But when you don't trust anybody anyway, you're prone to hear things and let them take root in you. And then you find all of a sudden you don't have the strength to sell a paper anymore. You don't have the strength to fish and bring a lost found anymore. You don't even have the strength or the will to come to the mosque anymore. You'd rather just go on out in the world and say, well, the nation failed me. It wasn't what I thought it should be. But what did you think it should be? It should be as perfect as the word that I heard that attracted me. Oh, come on. The word is perfect, but we are far from the perfection of the word. But we must be striving always to measure up to the word. But look, this is your family here. This is your family. I'm not negating your siblings, your blood brothers and sisters, but a blood brother and sister that's a disbeliever is not greater than a brother and a sister who is a believer.
I'm where I need to be. And I want to wrap this up. But I wanted you to see my break, my pain. And I've experienced now a lot of things in my personal life that I never could have experienced before, to teach me what it means for a man to find another man in his bed. That's a lot of pain, brothers, isn't it? I ain't going to ask you to raise your hand if you've had that experience. But that's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it, brother? And if you know that kind of pain, don't think that she don't feel that too. She got the same kind of feeling that we got. So these side women, these side men, these things that pacify. See, you got to make up your mind to let all that crap go, because that is what is destroying not just your marriage and your home, but it's destroying us as Muslims. I found out that I was polytheistic. I said I believe in one God, but my love for that God was tainted by a desire for something, and when I was offended, then I got shook. My faith got shook. So the scripture says, all ye shall be offended because of me this night. Because Jesus knew when he went to the cross that would produce a night for his followers. But when they saw him appearing helpless, when they thought he was God, they lost their faith. See? All of you will be offended, he said, because of me this night. When he left us, we got offended because our hope was in him. As long as he was around, we could walk that walk and talk that talk and live that life. But when he was gone, it seemed like the person that inspired us was no longer there. But if we were worshiping Allah, the omnipresent, the ever-living, we would never have fallen by the wayside. We worshiped our teacher. And some of you are that way by me. See, oh, the minister. Thank God you have a brother that loves you and is desirous of serving you, but to worship him would be a grave mistake on your part. And let myths grow about the minister. You know, the minister can tune in, you know. Oh boy, let me tell you, the minister did, the minister that, and you start lying to each other, you know. Putting me in it. And then if I disappoint you because I don't tune up on you, then you say, damn, the minister's deceived us. I ain't never told you I could tune in on you. But sometimes it appears that way. And you know why it appears that way? Because I'm talking into all your stuff tonight.
And you said, damn, did the minister know that I had Mary Jane round the corner? Damn. No, the minister don't know nothing about you, but God know everything about us. So if I'm an instrument that he's using, it may appear that I know what I don't know. But don't give me that credit. I'm just a vehicle, an instrument, like a microphone. See? So don't get caught up with me. So that if the minister now dies tonight or tomorrow, you say, oh, the nation ain't worth a damn. The minister died. And I thought the minister was going to be around here making rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. And you just mess yourself up and get all spooky. There's no mystery God, and I'm not the real God. I'm a little God, hoping that I won't turn out to be a little devil. That's humble, isn't it? I doubt if I turn out to be a little devil, but the point is we all got that tendency. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. So, where could I go to mend my broken heart? Every one of you that have accepted Islam, you had a reason for accepting it. Now go back and look into your motive for accepting. Because something in here sufficed, something that you needed in your life. See, you don't follow a leader except that leader sufficed something that you felt you needed. The leader supplied it, so you're there with him. That's my man. And that's the way we choose our husband and wives. They supply a need for us. But when you outgrow the need for that need, and you're looking for another leader, another religion, another husband, another wife, So I had to heal, brothers and sisters. And I couldn't go to Khadijah and ask her to heal me. I had a lot of wise people, but I couldn't go to Jibril and ask Jibril to heal me. There was no doctor for my broken heart. But since Allah created it and knew that it was broken, and this book, Quran, is called the healing, so he who revealed it is the healer. So let me go to Allah. Now, brothers and sisters, in my closing this part of what I wanted to say to you, you follow a leader, you join a religion or a church or an organization because in it you find some degree of security. And when a relationship is damaged, your security is damaged. So you don't feel safe. You don't feel secure anymore. So you're not at peace. Your peace is broken. Okay? So now, God, listen to me carefully in this part. God allows us to be disappointed by men and women and leaders and teachers
and organizations and preachers. He allows us to be disappointed so that we could know where the real source of our security is. Now, when you get time tonight or tomorrow or whenever, I want you to take the closing chapter of the Holy Quran and study it. See, if you watch everything in nature, the child follows the mother. Wherever the mother go, the baby right with the mother. You see the horse have a new addition, the little colt or whatnot. You see the colt, when the mother run, the little colt running, but not up with, right behind. See it in the dog family, see it in the cat family, see it in the animal kingdom. But at some point, the horse don't follow mama no more. At some point, the cat, the dog, the frog, they ain't following the mother no more because they've outgrown that need for mothering. Then you're ready to go out on your own, see? That's growth, isn't it? So when you leave your mother's house, you may join an organization. And in that organization or gang or group, you find some degree of security. How you doing, Mom? Yo, we'll drop by and see Mom. Hey, what's happening, Mom? Okay. You out with the boys, smoking reefer, you out with the boys, doing whatever you do. And that gives you a degree of security. But after you gang bang a while, you get tired too. You say, well, wait a minute, where's this leading? See, now you're outgrowing the gang leader. You're outgrowing your frat or sorority affiliations. You know, woo, you Delta, woo, you AK, all of that you outgrow. Now we can't hear you woo no more. You growing up. Now you go out in the world, you find a man, you find a woman, you make your vow, you have a family, you have children, then something comes in to break the house. Where do you go when your preacher deceives you? Where do you go when you find that your teacher is not perfect? Where do you go when your husband has broken his trust or your wife has broken hers? Where do you go? This Quran says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, say, I seek refuge in the Lord of men. See? Now I'm outgrowing all that I saw a need to be associated with. But now I know the one that suffices all need is the abode of peace and the grantor of security. So I don't have to look to my husband if he walks out. I don't have to look to my wife if she breaks her vow. Hagar didn't have to look to Abraham when he put her out of the house. She looked to the one that Abraham was looking to. And that's where your help comes from. You see, I'm looking to the hills and I'm raising the question, from whence cometh my help? And the answer is,
My help cometh from the Lord of men. And the word is Rab, nurturer. My heart is broken. I need it to be healed. I need the Lord of men, the nurturer. I need the healer. I'm insecure now. I thought I had a sanctuary in my home with my husband or my wife. At one time I felt safe, I felt secure, but now I don't feel safe anymore. I don't feel secure anymore. Where will I turn? I seek refuge in the Lord of men. And to seek refuge means to seek shelter or protection from danger or distress. To find a sanctuary which makes one secure from harm or danger. It's not your wife, it's not your husband, it's not your doctor, it's not your preacher, it's not your lawyer, it's not your mother, it's not your father, it's not your money or the banker. I seek refuge in the Lord of men. Don't stop there. I seek refuge in the God of men. I seek refuge in the King of men. That's who can heal my broken heart. So you won't find me in the house of blues singing the blues. You're not going to find me in the local bar getting drunk. You're not going to find me in the whorehouse looking for a cheap thrill. You're not going to find me in a strange man's bed to pacify my pain. You're going to find me on my prayer rug in the stillness of the night and in the early morning hours, begging the Lord of men, the God of men, and the King of men to heal my broken heart. O Allah, thou art the King. There is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thine servant. See? O Allah, I confess my faults. And every one of us in here got them. So confess them. Not to me, because I be confessing to God. You know, Allah, I'm ashamed of what I said or what I did that disrupted the peace in my home. I'm ashamed of what I did, and I'm asking you for your forgiveness. Well, can you forgive if I forgive? God asking you. If I forgive you, can you forgive him? Can he forgive her? Can we forgive one another if we are petitioning God to forgive us and to protect us from our faults? For none grants protection against faults but my husband. Oh, did I say it wrong? None grants protection against faults but thee. Guide me to the best of morals, for none guides to the best of morals but thee. Turn from me the evil, indecent morals, for none can turn from me the evil, indecent morals but thee. That's where we go, Muslims. And Allah is forcing us to come to him. And what better time than the days before the Day of Atonement? See, the Jews don't have atonement for robbing you. You don't never see them come, you know, I sold you some bad insurance. I lied to you about that insurance policy. I tricked you. You didn't read the little fine print. They ain't coming to atone to you, but they atone to one another and to God for their shortcomings. It starts in the house. In the house. So this Day of Atonement, let it be a time for healing our wounds, healing our families, healing our wounded marriages, so that our homes, being stronger and better, our nation will be stronger and better. So this Day of Atonement, 15th, 16th, 17th, that whole weekend, maybe we ought to start in our houses and try to get our home life on a better footing, our families on a better footing. Ask Allah's help, because we need it. And you know what? He is so anxious to help. But he's waiting on his servants to call him. You got the phone number. Christians sing a song, Call Him Up. Why don't you dial 911? Tell him it's an emergency, God. I need some help here tonight. And see how quick he will answer. But now you have to cut off all strings that make you other than yourself. Don't put anything impure into your home life. Get rid of that. And go right back home to your wife or your husband and look at him again and see if he or she is ready to change. And see if you can try again to mend a broken home by mending a broken heart. I thank you all for coming out. Did you get some out of it tonight? Will you go home and improve your homes? Build your marriages and your families?